Hi guys, I'd like to do my first video game review, and that is of Fallout New Vegas for the Xbox 360. I'd like to start off by saying this game is absolutely enormous and you're going to get your money's worth. Normally when I buy a game, if I spend £40, I want at least 40 hours out of the game, and with this retailing around about £35 at the moment, you're going to get hundreds of hours. You can go back and play it through again, as you'd expect from a game like this. You play it once and you go back a second time and make a few different decisions and it will be a completely different game. So on that side of things, it's just gigantic. The first thing I want to talk about really is the introduction to factions in the game. When you first start playing the game, you'll just be doing small mini quests and things like that to build up your weapons and a bit of a story. Once you get into it, you'll be meeting different factions. Some are good, some are bad. And it's down to you to pick who you actually want to work with. You can try and work with them all, which I tried to do, but after a bit, few of the quests will force you down a path, so you have to pick a particular group. When I was playing it, I was trying to get the NCR on my side. There's a few of the good people, but even so, by doing that, it offended one particular group and they didn't want me, and then it panned out, the ending changed, and it was good because I wanted to do one thing and the game forced me into a different direction. So even when you think you've got control of this game, it will go around and change everything for you. So on that side of things, the game is just brilliant. It's such an improvement on the original one. The story on this game is really good. I've completed it once. I was going to go back and complete it a second time, but I've spoke to a few people who've gone back, and on their second run through, they've put the hardcore mode on, and then they've only got about 10-20 hours into it, and they've simply said the only trouble is after doing the actual game, which will take you around 40-50 hours, if you want to do the side quests, you can run through it probably within about 10 hours, but that would just be a waste of a game. But after doing like a 50-hour stint on the game and then loading back up and starting again, fair enough, when you pick a different path, you're going to get different side quests and it's all going to be nice and new for you. You still got the similar things that you'll have to keep doing. And after doing a game for 50 hours and going straight back in again, it's going to feel a bit like the same game. So the only advice I can really say is give it a break. And that's why I've sold the game at the moment, because I know all the download content is going to come out, and I've never been a fan of actually buying download content because obviously you can't sell it on when it's complete. So I've sold the game, and then when the Game of the Year edition comes out in a year or a year and a half, I'll go back and buy that, and then by then I can do the actual story again. It's all going to be brand new for me, and then I've got the download content to be playing with as well. So the actual story is brilliant, but I would definitely give it a rest before you go and play it a second time. The other thing I want to talk about is the companions in the game. When you play, you can get two people to follow you, a human and non-human. And when I was playing, I only kept the same two all the way through, and so if I play it again, obviously I'm going to change that up. But when I was playing it, I had a sniper, and obviously he's long range, and I also had a dog, which is obviously short range. And what was quite funny is the companions can carry ammo and weapons, so if you've got too much, you can pass it on to them. But what I didn't realise is obviously if you're giving them weapons, they will use them. So as soon as a monster came out to attack us, the dog went for it straight away. So as the dog's trying to bite the enemy, the sniper switched to a grenade and threw it. But with the dog and the grenade together, obviously that didn't pan out too well. So you have to think about what ammunition and weapons and stuff like that you give to your companions. The other good thing is, while they're with you, you can tell them to obviously only attack enemies that have attacked you, or attack anyone that looks like an enemy. So it depends how you want to set the actual characters up, how they will actually react in the environment. So that side of things is a brilliant introduction into the game, and it's just made the game much bigger. It's changed the way you actually play the game now. So on that side of things, it's a brilliant idea. And there's only two things I can really moan about the game. One's small thing and one's a large thing, and obviously you all will know the large thing is the glitches and bugs. I was lucky enough to be able to play the game all the way through without getting the story glitch, which I've read on the internet a few people have suffered from. But my only glitches have been simple things like enemies disappearing while I'm fighting, and to be stuck in a rock or something like that, and then as I've gone to hit them, they've kind of teleported out of it and they've gone behind me and attacked me. And also when I was walking through the desert, I just stopped dead and my foot got caught into a rock somehow. I tried everything, jumping, blowing, grenades, everything you can do to dislodge yourself, and it was impossible. So I had to go back, and I probably lost about an hour or two. So if you're going to be playing the game before it's patched, save, save and save again. But obviously there's patches coming out at the moment, so if you're going to be buying this game about 3-4 months down the line, it should be a bit more smoother. And the only other thing I want to talk about is something that most people would never really find a problem, and that's because most people play the games by themselves. But when I play games like this, both me and my partner play them, and obviously we've both got characters, separate characters. But the problem is, like, when you've got things like Fable, when you play the game, you'll get your intro, and then you'll be greeted with a menu that says, please pick your character, and then you'll pick it, and then you can go off and play it. But the only trouble is with games like this, both Fallout, Oblivion, and now New Vegas, they all do the same save menu, and that is, I'll play the game, save it, and it will come up saying, Tom, save game. Then Joe will play the game, and she'll have Joe, save game, and obviously the list constantly goes down. And the trouble is, because you've only got 100 slots, and you're going to be saving and saving and saving because you don't want this game to crash on you, or glitch out in some way, you're going to have to be deleting games, and it's so easy to delete someone else's save game. I didn't do it on this, luckily enough, but when I was playing Oblivion, I was just clearing through some deadwood, and I think actually I was just overwriting an old save game, and I did look and it said Joe, and I overwrit it, and she lost about 20 hours of gameplay. And needless to say, she went absolutely nuts. I was in the doghouse for a week, and it's just a stupid small thing that could be rectified by the game makers, to just have two separate characters, well, not two separate, multiple separate characters. You pick that character and then you get that character's save games. That's the only thing I could actually say they need to fix. As for the bugs, it's going to happen. When you've got a game this big, the game testers are obviously there to test it, but there's a billion different outcomes, and it's going to take forever and a day for them to try and find every single one. So when you've got a game this large, you are going to get bugs. So I can't moan at the actual game developers for it. It's something that happens when a game is this large, but if you're going to be playing this a few months down the line, you're probably going to get away with it. And once the bugs are sorted out of it, with the map being such a large map, it isn't obviously in Fallout 3, but I feel like in this one, the towns feel different. You don't feel like broken building, broken building, broken building. Each one has characteristics now, and you can tell where you are within the map. It feels like you have travelled at different places. You'll have trees there, or down there's the desert, and it's just made the game so much better. Instead of just going around, which is a large map, but feels like you're doing the same thing. New Vegas has completely cracked it now by having all the towns look different and everything like that. So with the factions, the characters that are going to be following you, and just the sheer size of this game, I think they've completely nailed it. And once the bugs are sorted out, you've got a near perfect game. So all in all, I'll give this game an 8 out of 10. So if you get a chance, pick it up, but I must warn you, you will never see the light of day again for at least 50 hours. So I hope you enjoyed this review, and definitely go and pick out New Vegas. Cheers, bye.
Oh, ain't you glad?
And they sing, oh, ain't you glad?
And that song is so very far
And that
from
song is so very far from wrong.
Jingle jangle.